Welcome, travelers, to my realm of nightmares. Allow me to be your personal assistant. Come in, take a seat, get comfortable. For when you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.
Hello, travelers. PA Nightmares here. I've noticed that over 30% of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel. So, if you're a new or a returning viewer and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you like what I do, liking the video and commenting as well, as it really helps push this video into the algorithm and it really does help the channel grow. Well, I've taken enough of your time. On to the main event. The clanging bells shattered my eardrums. It actually hurt my ears, waiting for them to stop. Liam felt like a dead weight on our shoulders. I can't say if he was conscious or not, but he was slumped. Brian looked at me.
What do we do?
I shook my head. We can't go up there, Brian, I whispered.
But what if that's really him? What if,
His eyes darted towards Liam and tilted his head as he spoke. I looked at him. I looked at Liam. Brian hushed his voice to a quiet whisper.
This might not be Liam.
Brian, we're not carrying him up the stairs. How can you trust whoever that was at the top? I seriously didn't want to go, but part of me already knew we were probably going up there.
Danny, we can't just ignore the fact that Liam could be up there right now. It's only about 12 steps. We can go and peek. If there's nobody there, we bolt.
I felt like a piece of shit for even considering dropping Liam and running for my life. I didn't care if I broke my ankle dropping off that first landing. I'd gladly drag myself out the front door just to feel the fresh air on my face again. But I couldn't. I wouldn't abandon my two best friends. They wouldn't abandon me. We go up and stay on the stairs. We look around for a maximum of 10 seconds and then we're off. I meet it, Brian. Brian nodded and began walking. We struggled a little getting Liam up the stairs. Slowly but surely, we made it to the last step. I thought I would feel the outside breeze from the arches. It felt like the same stagnant, rancid air that felt everywhere else in this place. I started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Danny! Brian! Liam's voice from behind us called out. Why the fuck have you brought that thing up here? He continued, seeing himself slumped over our shoulders. We turned to see Liam lying on the floor near one of the walls. He was also cut to ribbons and bruised badly. How do we know it's you? I barked at him. Because that fucking thing you're carrying, that's not me. Fuck. Liam cried as he was lifted off the ground by an unseen force and thrown onto the edge of one of the arches. His legs were dangling out the side, facing probably a 60-foot drop. He cried out and pleaded with us to believe him. I don't want to die. Please, one of you help me. Please, I want to go home. Tears streamed down his face. He felt helpless. Hold on to him, Brian, I said as I pulled my head out from under Liam's arms. Brian dropped almost to the floor, trying to hold him up. I began to take a few steps towards the arch. I could hear the other Liam's feet scraping against the wall outside, trying to get perched to pull himself up. Please, Danny, please, don't let me fall, man. Please. Don't do it, Danny. It's a trick. Liam's voice came again from behind me, struggling to get his words out. Brian still had his arm over his shoulder. His head was bowed, and he was on his knees. I don't know what to do. Fuck! What am I supposed to do here? Liam, which one is the real you? I can't take this. I felt defeated already. My head was spinning with confusion, and I was having an emotional meltdown.
It's me.
They both said at the exact same time. I couldn't think straight. Liam's arm slipped down a little from the arch.
Danny, quick. It's me. Help me, please.
I had to think on my feet. Where did we? No. I know. Whose ladder did we take to get up to the second floor? Liam, slipping further to the edge, almost hanging by his fingertips, cried out as loud as I ever heard him.
My dad's. It's my dad's ladder.
At the same time, behind me, I heard a labored breath and Liam's voice saying,
It was my uncle's.
Brian dropped him in an instant and took 2 steps back. His eyes were wide in fear as he watched Liam roll into his back, taking deep breaths.
It's my uncle's ladder,
he muttered just under his breath again. Like a bullet, I darted to the edge of the arch opening and grabbed Liam's arm.
Fuck, man.
Fuck. I'm so sorry, Liam.
It's okay. Just pull me up,
he said.
Quick.
He looked delighted that I had figured it out. I tried my best to pull him up by myself, but he was bigger than me, and I was half expecting to be pushed over by something at any second. I pulled and pulled. Brian grabbed my legs and began to pull. I looked back and saw Liam still lying on the ground behind us.
Come on, Brian. Pull harder. We need to pull harder,
I screamed. I felt Brian pulling hard on my legs, but I could also... Wait. Could I feel my arm being pulled? Was Liam pulling me out? I looked down. Liam's face had a wicked grin. His eyes had turned bright yellow. Long, black, jagged fingers snaked out my arms like veins and gripped onto me. He was now completely dangling off my arm, slowly pulling me closer to the edge. I screamed so fucking loud at Brian.
It's not him, Brian, help me.
Brian got up and came to the edge to see what I could see. He almost fell back in horror.
Do something, Brian,
I shouted. Brian ran back and fetched the hammer. Within a few seconds, he was leaning over, smashing the thing's arm and head, trying with everything he could to loosen its grip. I was able to gain some more ground, sliding back onto my stomach and pulling it up slightly. Brian was getting some good headshots, but it barely even reacted.
2 seconds.
Brian said as he hurried over to the bag. I felt myself slipping to the edge again.
Hurry the fuck up, Brian,
I yelled. Brian came back with about 6 paper batons twisted together and set them alight. The large flame illuminated the distorted, bashed face that mimicked our friend. The glow waltzed at its wide, manic eyes before Brian smashed the fire right in its face. A deafening scream filled the air as I felt my arm loosen up. The bells began to ring, loud this time, and Brian started stabbing at it with a screwdriver. His fingers slowly began to release my arm, and eventually I was able to let go. I could see the crooked face grinning and distorted as it fell. It made no sound. The bell stopped abruptly as a loud thud on the ground confirmed that whatever this was had smashed into the ground. My arm throbbed and blisters began forming almost immediately. I rolled onto my back, out of breath.
Fucking hell,
Brian exclaimed.
I feel sick. My heart is pounding.
Yeah, I'm not feeling so great myself, mate, I replied, shooting him a faint smile, feeling safe enough now to be sarcastic. I just lay there, finally feeling the breeze caress my cheeks. It felt incredible, cool and fresh. I heard Brian stirring, trying to get to his feet, as we both heard Liam groaning behind us, where he still lay on the floor. Brian shuffled over and crouched next to him. He patted Liam's face.
Wake up, Liam. It's over,
he said. Liam groaned once more and moved his head.
The ladder was my uncle's. My dad didn't have one,
he said.
Fucking idiot.
He coughed as he attempted to laugh. I was glad to hear he hadn't lost his shitty sense of humor, even if it did annoy me. Brian smiled.
Well, maybe you could have mentioned that, you fucking moron,
he said with a nervous laugh.
Come on, man, let's get the fuck out of here. We need someone tall to drop down the stairs and set up the ladder. Hope you're up for that.
He laughed. We began getting Liam to set up, and eventually both helped him to his feet.
Sorry about all this, guys.
He sounded genuinely remorseful.
I got carried away trying to play stupid pranks. I should have never gone off alone.
It's fine, man. I felt like I should reassure him now that all was well. Then I could get mad at him later when he's better. We made it. We just need to get out of here. Then we can never look back. We all made it together. I continued, looking at both Brian and Liam. Heading down the stairs to the 5th floor, everything seemed different. The air had cleared. It smelled like shit, but there was no feeling of any presence. It wasn't as thick as before. We could actually see in the dark now, and I felt my mind and body relax as we walked with ease down to the 4th floor. Liam was regaining some of his strength as he drank some juice. The relief of seeing him get visibly better before our eyes was incredible.
I think we should leave our exploration adventures for a while.
Liam chuckled to himself.
Yeah, maybe schedule the next one for about 30 years?
I jested. Brian and Liam laughed. We began walking to the 3rd floor. Liam wanted to try the stairs himself. We were taking our time to let him try and get himself back on his own feet. Liam went first. We walked slowly behind him, ready to grab him should he stumble or fall. I felt my eyes well up as we got lower and lower in the tower. Every step down felt like a new victory. We reached the 3rd floor. Liam burst into laughter. He must have been happy he had done it himself.
You fucking weirdos. Why did you bring that thing up?
He laughed some more. Brian and I looked at each other, confused. My eyes squinted as I struggled to see into the middle of the landing. The Halloween clown decoration was standing there, looking right at us. I heard the mechanics start to move.
Step right up, children, and get your tickets to hell.
The clown shrieked, followed by a frenzied laugh. It moved in a different way than before. It appeared to shake and lift off the ground. Before anyone could react, the clown was picked up and launched into the darkness. A figure slowly came forward. I heard a voice say from the darkness, a voice I recognized only too well. My body went tense. A chill crept up my spine. Brian emerged from the darkness, battered and covered in cuts and slashes, just like Liam was.
Whoa, what the fuck?
He exclaimed.
Guys, get away from that thing. That's not me. We need to get the fuck out of here, now.
He commanded. There's no way in hell I'm falling for that one again. I thought just as Liam was shoved to the ground in an instant. Less than a second later, I felt burning fingers begin to slither around my neck from behind. Tonight's story was part 4 of the Scotland Bell Tower Witch. If you enjoyed this, chances are you'll enjoy the content over on Reggaejunkiegee Reddit. Please check them out, let them know PA sent you. Also, this story was featuring Veth22. If you enjoyed Veth's voice, please check out his channel and let him know PA sent you as well. Hey, did you guys know I have merch? Well, I do. And if you'd like to walk around representing my realm and gaining new travelers, the links to my merch store, as well as all of my other social medias, will be in the description below. Please check them out. As always, I'd like to say a special thank you to all my lovely Patreons. 242 Reads, Rando Calrissian, Seraphine the Midnight Bard, Creepy Clown Girl, Me Amina, Hair Raising Nerves, Spooky Boo Scary Story Time, Breaker 19, and Pimp Demon. If you'd like to join these lovely travelers but are lighting my fire, you can do so by becoming a Patreon as well. Just remember the support is always appreciated, but it's never expected. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ding that bell if you're new, as it will really help push this video into the algorithm and helps the channel grow.
But as always, travelers, once you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.